Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to Harmonize, 2Energize. And my name is Terry Matthews. I work remotely on behalf of the Mary Burmeister Jin Shin Jyutsu Institute. Jin Shin Jyutsu, for anyone who's new today, is an art of harmonizing the life energy in the body. We do that by placing our hands left and right of our frontal areas, the frontal spine, or the back, on what we call safety energy locks. There are 26 of them, left and right of the spine and in the arms. Not 26 in the arms, there's 3 or 4 in the arms. And what we do by placing our palms or the back of our hands or our thumbs on these energy locks is to release tensions that are blocking the congruent flow of our life energy, our soul, heart, mind, and body, actually. So for those of you that are unfamiliar, we have a website, and here it is. Jin Shin Jyutsu, JSJINC.net. We represent the authentic source of Jin Shin Jyutsu as it was brought to the West by Mary Burmeister from her teacher, Jiro Morai. So you can see here, if you come to the website, we have a homepage, links, online events, classes, practitioners, a store, outreach, and you can contact us here. So you can find out all about what Jin Shin Jyutsu, where it originated from, what it's all about, and where we are now by going to this www.jsjinc.net. Below here on the home page, we have advertisements of upcoming classes. The next one, most of the classes, by the way, are online at the moment due to COVID restrictions. And the next one up is on March the 11th. It's an online basic seminar taught by Anita Willoughby. All the information is here. So if you're interested in studying Jin Shin Jyutsu, the next step beyond self-help is the practitioner study on a basic seminar. Here is all the information and your organizer, and you can register by clicking on those buttons. Then there's an online self-help class coming up as well with Sarah, teaching with the translation to Portuguese. In self-help is the foundation, really, the core principles of Jin Shin Jyutsu. Here's all the information here. If you've missed any of these webinars and you want to catch up, find out a little bit more about Jin Shin Jyutsu, click on any of these links. And I just want to tell anyone that's absolutely brand new or has got questions about qualifying to practice Jin Shin Jyutsu. At the moment, we still require 3 5-day basic seminars, but 2 of them can be online. 1 of them has to be live. Admittedly, we don't have very many live classes at the moment unless you want to travel to Europe. However, as restrictions reduce, we will be bringing back the live classes. So be patient, folks. You will have an opportunity to get more hands-on practice. But of course, you can always get hands-on practice with your friends, your community. You may have study groups in your area, and you can look that up by going to the practitioner list on that website that I showed. And you can check out to see if anybody in your area is maybe wanting to practice hands-on, maybe like you, brand new, maybe has only done 1 or 2 online webinars. Link up with these people, learn more from them, and that's a really strong foundation for when you do eventually, if you do, become a practitioner. The more you practice, the more you can progress. So this is how I started, more or less, although I started with self-help. I also was fortunate enough to have a practitioner living in the same house as me, so I could swap with her, trade with her, and practice. So don't feel, there's nowhere to go, just because we don't have live classes predominantly in the US. There is. You just have to be creative, be flexible, and step out there and go to our website, as I say, and check out people in your area and see if you can't persuade them to link up, hook up, and then you can get more hands-on practice and maybe even join a study group, because after 1 5-day, you can certainly join a study group. In the meantime, do as much practice with your self-help as you can. Okay, so what are we going to discuss, practice today? Well, on Fridays, we would usually do 4 sets of a practice, and we've been following through with safety energy locks. So we will continue, but because we no longer have a Wednesday class, probably alternately, we will have people come on and share their inspiring stories on a Friday as well and offer practices too. So we've extended it to 40 minutes. And so those of you that have any questions, if you do, you can ask them. And there's a Q&A section here where you can put your questions in if you want in the chat area. Otherwise, just put them in the chat room, I'll scan. And this will be the trend forward. At the moment, it'll just be on a Friday. There may be something new coming up on a Monday. I can't say too much about that because it's nothing to do with me, but when something does come up, I'll let you know. And Harmonize 2Energize will be in tandem with that. All right. So I hope you're all doing well. Hope you enjoyed your St. Valentine's Day on Monday, wherever you were in the world. Maybe it was a different day. I don't know. I lose track of time. Anyway, let's continue with our practices on the safety energy locks. And we move now to third depth, which is safety energy locks 16 to 22. And just to remind you, although we no longer publish the main central, I'm going to read extracts from the main central where instructors have discussed the safety energy locks. And safety energy lock 16 was discussed way back by Susan Brooks, Walter Rodriguez Krauser, and Jed Swartz. Susan used to be a full-time instructor. She's still involved with Jin Shin Jyutsu, but she doesn't teach for us at this time. Waltraud and Jed do. So Susan, she says when safety energy lock 16 comes to mind, so does the word foundation, the supporting part of a house, breaking down the old and renewing. And she mentions a fun exercise is to see how each safety energy lock includes all the depths. And she goes through how safety energy lock 16 links to all the depths. As a double 8, 16 brings magic, strength, and infinite vitality to the reproductive area. And a few years ago, a woman wanting to get pregnant had repeated miscarriages and finally underwent in vitro fertilization procedures. Her doctor was skeptical of its success due to the fact that one of her ovaries was not producing enough or good quality eggs. To help her situation daily, she jumper cabled her 16 and low 8, opposite to the ovary in need. During her subsequent in vitro procedure, she was delighted to learn she had twice as many eggs in that ovary as the other. She had become pregnant on that in vitro attempt and now has a healthy 4-year-old son and a 2-year-old twins. All right, on a physical level, the 16s harmonize the 20s, helping frontal headaches, TMJ, jaw tension, and teeth grinding. Waltraud, with safety energy lock 16 entering third depth. This means 16 is the first safety energy lock that is manifested in the third depth, has a big influence upon our actions in life. With safety energy lock 16, we can break old habits, old thought patterns, old emotional hurts, and our attitude patterns in which we are caught, and transform them into new ones. Jed Schwartz. My first Jin Shin Jyutsu client came with a project of severe arthritis. She was unable to turn her head, had limited movement in all her limbs, and experienced constant pain, which only increased with movement. Listening to her pulses, I had no idea what they meant. Then I remembered that Safety Angel 16 helps all arthritic conditions, releasing the Achilles tendon so the tissue between the tendon and the ankle is empty and flexible. I began to hold 16 and 5, which is special body function number 3, 9 and 26 with 5 and 16, and then began moving up the Achilles toward low 8. When the session was over and several flows focusing on 16 were completed, I waited expectantly. No change. Anyway, I had arranged for a 6-treatment series over a period of 2 weeks. I prayed more fervently and focused the entire session on combinations involving Safety Angel 16. Again, no change. Anyway, returning the next day, she grabbed me and gave me a hug and a kiss because on the drive over, she was able to turn her head for the first time in 12 years. The Safety Angel 16 in the Achilles area were more flexible and not as swollen. 16 is transformation. So, without further ado, let us transform. And let's look and see what Mary suggested to help us with Safety Angel 16 by looking at the slides. And I seem to remember when we covered this Safety Angel lock, a certain Adele was involved with this. And so, yes, it's got all the hallmarks of Adele. Anyway, there is Safety Energy Lock number 16. There it is, left and right underneath the outside ankle bone. And Mary says, came with the universe, meaning the basis of all human activities, breaking down existing forms for new ones. And she says aids head, back, elimination, tension, stress. And she suggests we hold our left or right thumb as a practice we can do. And there it is. And also, number 2, holding 11 and 25. And then she also colorfully talks about all the different harmonizing of reproductive functions, etc., etc. And holding it on a horse, yes. This was definitely Adele. Wonderful, beautiful. All right, so what we're going to do here is we're going to hold either the left or right thumb, then the 11 and 25. Then you're going to choose either to stay on one of those practices or repeat them again, or end with giving yourself a hug, holding the 26 with the 22. So without further ado, let us begin. Choose your left or right thumb. Examine the different sectors or segments of your thumb. Top part represents bust line in Jin Shin Jyutsu, middle part, waistline, bottom part, hip line. Check along the sides to see which thumb feels the most tender. And that's probably going to be the thumb that you want to hold. And we're going to practice this with 4 sets of 9 exhalation inhalations, adding up to 36. Mary talked about 36 breaths, moving us from the subtlest to the densest realms of energy to help us harmonize, and in this case, Safety Energy Lock 16. So make a choice, sit up as straight as you can. If you need a cushion to support your back, do so. And you can just hold left or right thumb, and you can place your hands in your hip line area, your groin area, or in your middle, 15 over the pubic bone area. Close eyes, stun your cell phone, and we're going to breathe out. And as we exhale, we move the energy from the back of our head, Safety Energy Lock 4, through the groin, 15, to the big toe, 7, and then from 7, 15 back to 4. And that is one breath. We're going to do it 9 times holding the thumb. Close eyes, drop shoulders, exhale. Let go. Let all the dirt, dust, and greasy grime of the week, the day, the second, the minute release all the way down through the hip, from the head to the hip to the toe, and to the earth beneath, Mother Nature. And then as we inhale, we receive cosmic purified energy or light. We receive. We don't take anything. We allow it to come to us. And then the energy spirals up the back. Before once more returning to release down the front. And up the back. Down the front. And up the back. Down the front. And as we're connecting with our thumb, sooner or later we'll feel a pulse. Sometimes it takes a little longer than 9 exhalation inhalations. Not to worry. Thumbs harmonize worry, by the way. Eventually you will feel the blood pulse, basically, but it's actually the blood following energy, not the other way around. We hear the blood, but we also hear the energy, which it is following. And if you had a message to give your nervous system, it will be let go of the old and receive the new. Transform, break down all those old activities that no longer serve. Just release the stress around your shoulders, your neck, and sink into your hips and then down to those 16s either side of the outer ankle bone there, and then to the big toe, and then beyond to Mother Earth beneath. Thumbs also, by the way, represent Mother Earth in terms of the organ regeneration of spleen and stomach. So we really have a beautiful connection here with the earth. Many pathways go through the 16. The longest energy pathway in the whole body, the bladder, moves through the 16. And it's a water element flow, and water flows to earth. So when you reach the 9th exhalation, inhalation, just pause and observe how and where you are feeling, if you are. No worries. It's all a journey. Practice makes progress. And the second practice here is holding 11 or 25. One hand hooks over the shoulder, close to the side of the neck, safety energy lock 11. And this hand, the same side hand, goes on the same side 25, which is a sit bone. Do it one side or the other. Feel which one feels the tensest. Choose that one. Exhale, drop shoulders, smile, let go. Just sink, allow the energy to relax the muscles, tendons, heel area, Achilles area. Allow the transformation to take place. Inhale naturally, receiving the breath which contains the light which will feed all your cells. Cosmic purified energy. As this energy spirals down the front to the toe, feel grounded, feel that connection. And if you don't feel grounded, maybe just squeeze your toes gently to remind them that they are connecting to the ground beneath. They're not staying up in the energy is not staying up in your head or your hip. It's moving a complete body breath. Apologies if you can hear the gardener. All of a sudden, next door neighbour's gardener has decided to transform their lawn. So we got a bit of a roar coming from behind me. I shall mute if he carries on. But just sit in the zone that you find yourself in and observe how you feel. Now, at this point, you can choose either one of the thumbs. If it worked on the left, go to the right, or the opposite side, 11:25, as the third practice. That's in fact what I'm going to do for another set of 9. Here we go. Some people say to me with self-help or to teachers, should we just do one side or the other? Left side represents an exhale, supporter. Right side an inhale. You can hold one side or the other or both. Experiment and be your own testimony. Your left side might need more, so hold it for longer. Right side might need more, so you become the artist. You make the choice. We're learning to connect to our gut feeling and our heart with Jin Shin Jyutsu as we unblock all the passageways. In traditional Chinese medicine, they rarely work on the heart pathway because it's seen as the most precious. They work on the burdeners and the supporters. So, connect to the most precious, that intuitive pulse, and base your decisions, perhaps, on that. I love 11 and 25. Can feel it helps the energy to move down by releasing the back. Oh, that big wasp I'm going to have to mute. As you reach the 9th exhalation inhalation, just relax into the zone, into the energy atmosphere, the field of energy that you are now part of creating. Because you were in an energy field which was likely very different until you placed your hands in those positions. And now you've changed it, hopefully enhanced it. Don't worry, whatever comes through needed to come through. And now finally, being flexible with the big wasp in the back garden, we're going to hold our 22s and the 26, give ourselves a hug, and the fingers go to the side of the shoulder blade here, left and right, and the thumbs under the shoulder girdle. So we're still connecting to the thumbs. And if that's too uncomfortable, take one hand away and place it on the thigh, the high ones. And we do our last set of 9 exhalation inhalations. Here we go. The sound of the wasp is receding. Of course, wasps are part of Mother Nature, so we shouldn't feel too uncomfortable with that. The cosmic purified energy is doing a good clean out of your spine, spinal centers. Mary didn't call them chakras, but they're more commonly known as chakras. The energy vortex is spinning energy in a clockwise direction. Positive messages to the nervous system are always spun or woven in a positive clockwise direction. That's important because some people think, oh, we go down the front positive clockwise and go up the back anti. No. Not in Jin Shin Jyutsu. It's always in the positive clockwise movement. And the message we give ourselves here at the bus lane is one of love and compassion and joy, breathing freely and easily, letting go of what we no longer need, and receiving with gratitude for what we are about to receive. May we be truly grateful, thankful, whatever the wording. An attitude of gratitude will take you very far. Smiling too, it allows more energy to come in through the back of the head. And forgiveness, the fours, back of the head, letting more energy when we forgive ourselves and others for not being perfect. Practice makes progress. I know we often hear practice makes perfect. What is perfect? It's a judgment. It's the mind needing structure. The heart desires nothing. But all you need is love. On the fingers, right? All you need is love. Little finger. Balances heart, small intestine. All right. It's 12:30. Just sit peacefully. I mean, depends how you feel. Sometimes you feel really fired up. There's an energy going up the back. It's fire energy. As it goes down the front, it's water. Depending where you are on your cycle of transformation, you may feel one or the other. You may want to jump up and go boo, or you may want to say, Terry, be quiet. I want to be peaceful. Or you may have questions, especially if you're new. If you want to ask me anything, you can in the Q&A section or in the chat. If you have any questions. Galena says, we can only be perfect through the Creator. That's interesting. Let you all think about that one or feel your way through that. Because the Creator, to me, contains everything. And that is imperfection included. Everything. So if imperfection is perfect, then I'll go along with that. Everything. There you go, Regina. I'm perfect because I'm nobody and no one is perfect. I think you're saying you're not just a body. Susan, why don't we hold Safety Energy Lock 16 directly? You can. If you're flexible enough, get up there and hold that there 16. Why not? I didn't feel flexible enough to do that this morning, but if you are and you can do a half lotus, which I used to be able to do, why not? Yes. So 16, 17, 18, 19 in text one, why all in one flow? That's a question that you'd have to ask Jerome Marai. I think he created all the flows. But if you look at the flow, you'll see it's the movement into the mediator. So it's a focus on mediator. And mediator is the harmonizer of all attitudes. So why not hold all those safety energy locks in one go, in one flow? What is the book I've been reading from? The book I've been reading from is The Main Central 0 to 26. It's a compilation of different insights on the safety energy locks from the Main Central. Those of you that used to purchase the Main Central know that it went beyond 1 to 26. It went up to about 120 or 30 before we had to withdraw publishing. But this is a very compact, condensed way of getting further insights for those of you that have not been taught by some of the instructors who are who wrote in this or who wrote in the Main Central, who are no longer teachers for Jin Shin Jyutsu. People like Susan Brooks, Matthias Roth, and Lynn Pfluger, some of whom left their body, literally, and some who left the Mary Bellmeister Jin Shin Jyutsu Institute. But their words are still pearls of wisdom. So I would encourage you to go to our store and purchase a copy. If you already have the Main Centrals, you can read and go through the indexes, if you've got one, and find all the references to the safety energy locks. 16 with 5, yes, that's the great anesthetic, the great pain reliever. 16 and 5 work together. Yeah, so I think I've answered most of the questions here. I don't see any more. All right. Yeah. So, as I said, thank you very much. This is it in future for Harmonize, 2Energize. This is the Friday-only version now. And I'm hoping next week we're going to have somebody from the global community, maybe an instructor, maybe a practitioner, maybe a new student. I don't mind if you've literally only just learned to breathe out first and then inhale. If you had an experience that meant something to your heart, which touched you. Oh, and by the way, it can be about an animal. I'll give you a little hint that it won't be long before we see Adele again. She's coming. She's coming. And, you know, animal, vegetable, mineral, honestly, the energy is everywhere in my experience. And you can place your hands on anything and anybody if they let you. You can always ask permission if you like. Animals generally will tell you, and little children, how much to give or not. Whatever your experience is, be with it, enjoy it. It doesn't have to be some like super duper revelation that marries up with a biblical or philosophical statement. No. Just feel it in your heart. And if it felt valuable to you, I'm sure there's someone out there it's going to be valuable to as well. All right. And just drop me a line, info@jsjinc.com. .com, not a net. And, you know, I can read through. You can tell me what you want to talk about, and I'll gin you up to how we do it. And you'll come along with me or not me, depending whether you want me in the picture or not. All right. So that's something to think about. People are asking me about leading a self-help class. I used to lead them live in Scottsdale, sometimes with Sarah Harper and sometimes by myself. I may do one live. We'll see what the COVID situation is, how people feel about that, or I may do a Zoom. Who knows? But I'm telling you, me, myself, I believe you can't do enough self-help. You are connecting with your soul. How beautiful is that? And when you connect with your soul, you're going to get that level of guidance. And it will help you connect, and it will help you develop your intuition. And once you've embraced the self-help aspects, learning to become a practitioner is much easier. You don't want to end up in a class where you're forever tapping someone on the shoulder and saying, is that safety energy lock 5 or is that 16? You know, because you want to have that connection. You want to experience it, right? So experience it for yourself and then experience it on others. And certainly in my self-help classes, as much as possible, I allow people to experience it on others as well as themselves because I want them to experience the difference. Yes, Galena, I heard Mary say you will see the creator through Jin Shin Jyutsu. Yes, some people will totally experience that energetic. So experience it, become your own testimony. And that, for now, is it from me. So have a wonderful rest of the day, weekend, week ahead, and au revoir. Auf Wiedersehen. Thank you. Take care. Be smart. Be safe. Be well. Be kind to yourself and to others. There's a little bit of a dearth of kindness, I feel, in the world today. And we can always practice more kindness towards ourselves and others, can't we? I don't think it hurts anybody. All right, enough from me. The pulpit is clear. I will see you hopefully next Friday, same time, same place, and we'll see what that's going to be all about. Oh, practice your 16, either holding your ankles, as Susan said, or any of those practices. Get Self-Help Book 2 if you need to. You can download it as an ebook. That's it. I'm going, promise.